Hello and welcome to the demonstration video for WP Magic Shortcodes. This is not a sales video, it's simply a demonstration of some of the remarkable capabilities of this new plugin. Now what you see here is what we will be going towards. This is what we're going to build in this video. You may not want to use all of these unique components on your web page on a single page, but this is a demo, so you'll see it all happen here. Now we've deleted everything and we'll start from scratch. And the first thing we're going to do is put the video portion on there. And I've got the video set up so it goes side by side with something else. So I'm going to use a standard WordPress feature of the WordPress editor to create a table. And in that table I'm going to stick some standard code that I use for the video background. This is not part of WP Magic Shortcodes, it's just code I've got lying around. Now you see the graphic there, and what we're going to do is open up WP Magic Shortcodes, go to the video selection, put in the link to the YouTube video, put in the width and the height, and save our page, and we'll flip over to our demo view and refresh that page, and voila, there is the video with the background ready to go. Okay, that was simple enough. Let's do something more unique. And on my table I'm just going to set some code that says put this stuff, align it to the top, and now I'm going to go over to what we call the accordion. And WP Magic Shortcodes has a format for putting this in. It's technically called a definition, but you have a term and a definition, a term and a definition. And we're going to set all of our terms to feature 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to paste in some definitions. And that looks good, so we'll save it. You can see the shortcodes there on the right. That's what WP Magic Shortcode puts in your editor. And then when you refresh the page, we've got this nifty component here called an accordion that lets you put a lot of information in a little bit of space. Okay, now after that nifty one, let's do a simple one. What we're going to do is put a simple divider underneath this to divide this video section from the following section. We'll save it, refresh the screen, and you notice down at the bottom there is the divider. Okay, that was simple enough. Let's move on to something a little bit more complex, and this is called a box. We're going to set the color of the box, the title and the border of the box. We're going to put the title in, what we want to show in the title area. You can set the color and the size of the font in the title. Then we're going to put in the content for the box and save it. Refresh our view, and there is a beautifully formatted box with our title and our content. Okay, let's move on to another section, and what we're going to do here is highlight the headline feature of WP Magic Shortcodes. We're going to put in a headline to sort of separate this from the other content, and our headline says, how does this work? We'll save it. Refresh our view, and there it is. Okay, let's pop back over to our editor, and what we're going to do is add another fairly unique feature. We're going to put this content about how it works into columns, and what we do is we tell WP Magic Shortcodes what size the column is. It takes up 1/3 of the width of the page. There's a second column that takes up 1/3 of the width. And our third column, which is the last one, so we're going to click that button, takes up again 1/3 of the width of the page. There are our shortcodes. We save them, refresh our view, and there you have it. Very nifty. It's very tough to do that in HTML. Okay, now we're going to add a new really nifty section. So first we'll put in another headline to sort of separate it out. And then I'm going to have two features side by side again. So I'm going to do that same table business. I'm going to create a table. And on the left-hand cell of the table, I'm going to put something called a testimony. It's simply a way of putting testimonials on your web page. There's our first testimonial from John Q. And I'm going to add a little bit of code using WordPress that simply says make this thing 65% width of the entire table. So we have some room to add our right half. Then I'm going to add another testimonial from Susie Q. And I'll add a third testimonial for less in to me. And we've got our testimonials there. Then this right hand side, again, I'm going to put a little bit of code in using WordPress that simply says align it to the top. And I'm going to use the tweets feature so that I can go to Twitter. All I have to do is put in the Twitter handle, put in the number of tweets I want it to pull in, save that, and refresh our view. And you'll see we have the testimonials over on the left hand side. On the right hand side, it's gone in and pulled our 3 tweets in, formatted it nicely. In the testimonials, you may not have noticed, but the testimonial shows below the name. I want the testimonials above the name. And so I can change the style as I've done and refresh, and there you have it. Okay, for this last area, what I'm going to do is put in a little bit of code that simply creates this segregated off session. And again, I'm going to do things side by side. So I'm going to use the table feature that's in WordPress. And I'm going to make this table a little smaller than the entire width of the page to offset it a little bit. On the left hand side, I'm going to put in an image, and I'm going to use the frame feature of wpMagicShortcode. And all I do is enter in the information to get me to the image that I want in there. And I'm going to say, look, let's make the width of this 50%. We want it shared evenly half and half. So on the right hand side, the first thing I'm going to do is put in a headline. And that headline is simply going to say, get yours now. We'll keep the font the same. We'll keep the size as it is at the default. We'll enter in a little bit of extra text. That could be sales text or whatever. And this next feature is a real boon for me. It's I know I spend a lot of time looking for buttons. This allows you to create a button on the fly. I'm going to create an add to cart button. It's going to be large. I can change the color of the text. But honestly, I think I just want to keep the text white with the orange background. I can choose what button I want. In this case, I'm going to choose the shopping cart button. I can say before after text, and then I can tell it where to open the new window for the link. Save it. Refresh. Move down. There's my heading. There's my sales text. And there's my add to cart button. Okay, let's fancy this up just a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this text in my sales copy using the highlight feature. I can choose the background color, the color of the text, or the foreground color. Put in the content that I want to have highlighted. And I'm also going to center this whole thing. So I'll just use WordPress to center that. Save it. Refresh my view. And there now is my beautiful highlighted text. Now, we left the initial heading off. I saved it to last. Notice as I put the heading in there, I can put HTML code in there to change the color of the font. And there's my heading shortcode. If I save it, go into my view and refresh it, there's my heading. And there is our formatted page, done in an extremely small amount of time with a lot of very flexible and nice components that you would love to have on your web page. WP Magic Shortcode makes this easy for you to do. Enjoy.